In open play, Argentina were building the game in back three. Argentina's central midfielder was dropping in and joining the back line. In open play, Croatia were pressing with Solman. With Argentina's midfielder joining the back line, Argentina had a 3 versus 1 player number advantage against Croatia's front line. And because Paredes was locked in between the two centre backs, Argentina's centre backs could play split. Argentina's fullback could push high because of extra protection in Argentina's back line and because of 3 versus 1 situation against the Croatian back line. In open play, Argentina had two midfielders operating deep and one midfielder operating between the lines alongside Messi. Argentina's number 9 and both the fullbacks were operating high and wide, and they were forcing Croatia's backline to stretch a bit. Messi, as usually, dropping in and operating between the lines alongside midfielder. Because Croatia's backline was being pulled by fullbacks and number 9, so there was a space between the lines for Messi and attacking midfielder. But in open play, Croatia's mid-4 defended narrowly, so Argentina's midfielder were unable to penetrate Croatia's midfield, and Messi and McAllister were not able to receive the ball between the line. Now Croatia were protecting the central zone by forming mid-block, so Argentina's midfielder were being forced to attempt diagonal balls. Croatia's central defense was 3 versus 3 due to the McAllister being high in the final third. As we discussed, Croatia's midfield was defending narrowly, so if the ball was played into the half space, Argentina's wide midfielder was free to receive the ball. You can see here Croatia's narrow midfield and Luka Modric was narrow, so when the ball was played into the half space, Enzo was free to receive the ball. Now seeing the Argentinian midfielder free, the Croatia's wingback was forced to close down. If Croatia's wingbacks were committed to Argentina's wide midfielder and the ball was being switched from midfield to flanks, space was being created for Argentina's fullbacks. Earlier we discussed that Messi was operating behind Croatia's second line, but due to the narrow operating of Croatia's midfield, Messi was not able to receive the ball between the line and Messi had to drop in. Messi's drop in created a diamond in midfield. Messi's drop in midfield allowed Argentina's midfielder to operate out wide. Now Croatia's narrow midfield was getting split due to the Argentina's midfielder operating wide. When Argentina's wide midfielder had the ball, Perisic and Modric were ready to press Argentina's wide midfielder. Because Enzo and De Paul were operating wide, Croatia's midfield was being split if Modric and Perisic press, and Croatia's midfield was getting penetrated. In open play, the Argentine midfielder was dropping in and creating 3 versus 1 situation in front of Croatia's initial line. Now a 3 versus 1 situation in middle third and Croatia's frontman was central, so Argentina's backline could easily beat Croatia's initial line. Croatia's midfield was deep and narrow, so Argentina's backline always had option in the wide areas. Because Argentina's midfielder were covering wide areas, so Argentina's fullback had the license to push high. Now Argentina's fullback was high and the forwards were drifting wide, and Argentina's midfield was drifting wide too. So being overloaded on the left hand side, Croatia's midfield and defense were also drifting wide. So when the ball was being switched from the left hand side to right hand side, the Argentine fullback on the near side was free to receive the ball. In open play, Argentina were pressing with front two. There was always back three. Modric or Brozovic were joining the back line. Being Croatia in back three, Croatia had a 3 versus 2 number advantage in front of Argentina's initial line. So with no pressure in front of Croatian back line, the Croatian wing back could push high. Kovacic and Brozovic were operating behind Argentina's initial line, so a 2 versus 2 situation in central midfield in front of Argentina's central midfielder. When Kovacic and Brozovic receiving the ball, Argentina's central midfielder were forced to press, and because of that, space was being created between the lines. We know how Croatia's midfield in this World Cup, little 1-2s, and they were bypassing Argentina's midfield. When Argentina's midfield was bypassed, Croatia's wingback was ready to push high. Obviously, the Croatian forward would move inside if Croatian wingback overlapped, and he was tagging the Argentina's fullback. So if the ball was played towards the wingback, the Croatian wingback was free. Now seeing the Croatian wingback free, Argentina's fullback was forced to track back Croatian wingback. Now Argentina's fullback was committed to Croatia's wingback and Croatia's forward in the half space, so Argentina's centre back was being forced to track back the Croatian forward. Now Argentina's centre back and fullback were out of position and there was a hole in the defense.